What a day that will be when my Jesus I shall see.
Welcome back, everybody. We're diving deep today
Diving deep.
into an article from biblestudium.de
Okay.
called hat alles wohlgemacht.
Mm-hmm.
It's by Daniel Melui,
Oh.
and it's all about this idea that
Yeah.
he has done all things well.
Big statement.
Huge statement.
Yeah.
Especially when you think about all the things that happen in life.
It's a phrase that really resonates,
Yes.
especially for Christians.
Yeah.
And Melui does something really interesting here.
Okay.
He uses this story from Mark 7
Okay.
as a jumping off point
I like it.
for this much bigger discussion.
Okay, so what's the story? Remind me.
So it's the one where Jesus heals this deaf man
Uh-huh.
and then tells everyone to keep it quiet,
Oh, right.
like hush, hush.
But of
But
course,
everyone's like,
yeah.
nope, we're going to tell everyone.
classic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the more you tell someone not to do something,
Yeah.
the more they want to do it.
The human nature.
Right. But what's fascinating is how the people react.
Okay.
They say, he has done all things well.
Oh, I see.
And Melody suggests that this
Yeah.
is more than just like excitement about a miracle.
Right.
It's pointing to something deeper.
So it's not just about this one
No.
healing.
Not at all.
Get bigger.
It's about who Jesus is and what his actions really mean.
So it's about like his overall mission.
Exactly.
Okay.
Melody's argument is that this phrase,
Mm-hmm.
it speaks to the perfection of Jesus's work.
Perfection.
Yeah.
That's a big word.
And he doesn't just mean in healing,
Okay.
but in everything Jesus did.
Everything.
Even, and this is a big one,
Okay, I'm listening.
even in his death,
Whoa.
he actually calls the crucifixion
Yeah.
a perfect work.
Okay.
It's a strong statement.
That's a very strong statement.
That's
I mean,
it.
how can we even say that?
Right. How do you square the brutality of the crucifixion
Yeah.
with the idea of perfection?
Yeah. It's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah. And that's where the theology comes in.
Okay, let's get theological then.
So from a Christian point of view,
Yeah.
Jesus' death wasn't a failure.
It wasn't the end.
It was a sacrifice.
Oh.
It was the plan all along.
God's plan.
God's plan for saving humanity.
Right. So the atonement,
Exactly.
Jesus taking on the sins of the world.
Yeah, it's the idea.
And that's where the perfection comes in.
Yeah, it's not about the absence of suffering.
Okay.
It's about Jesus being perfectly aligned with God's will,
Even when things were really bad.
even in the face of unimaginable pain.
Yeah.
And that leads to so much.
Okay. Like what?
The defeat of Satan,
Uh-huh.
the possibility of eternal life,
Big stuff.
and ultimately
Yeah.
the perfection of creation itself.
Wow. So Meloi's tying all this together.
He is. It's all connected.
Okay. I'm starting to see it.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
The article doesn't just focus on the past.
Okay.
It looks ahead.
To the future.
Exactly.
And how can we be so sure about that?
Well, Melui points to a prophecy in Isaiah 53. It says that God's purpose will succeed
Mm-hmm.
through Jesus.
Interesting.
And this connects to the Christian belief
Okay.
in the second coming
Right.
and the ultimate transformation of the world.
And the church.
And the church, exactly.
So it's like a message of hope.
It is, even when things are uncertain.
Even when we don't understand.
Yeah, even when we don't know why things happen.
That's a good point.
It's about trusting that there's a purpose.
A bigger picture.
Exactly.
Okay, so even if we don't always get it,
Mm-hmm.
we can trust that something good is happening.
That's the heart of it.
I like that.
And it actually ties in with a verse from Romans 8:28.
Oh, which one's that?
It's the one that says,
Yeah.
all things work together for good
Right.
to those who love God.
Powerful stuff.
It reminds us that even when life's tough,
Yeah.
we're not alone.
We're part of something bigger,
And there's a plan unfolding.
even if we can't see it.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it, but it's still hard.
I know you mean.
When you're going through something tough,
Yeah, it's hard to hold on to that faith,
to see that good.
especially when things just don't make sense.
Yeah, when it feels like everything's falling apart.
And that's where Melody's insight is so helpful.
Okay, what does he say?
He reminds us that we have a limited perspective.
We don't see the whole picture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he suggests that we may only fully understand God's plan
Yeah.
later.
In the afterlife.
Yeah, when our understanding is complete.
Like a big aha moment
Precisely.
when everything clicks into place.
And that can be comforting.
Knowing that even if things are rough now,
Mm-hmm.
there's a bigger, more perfect understanding waiting.
It's a promise of ultimate clarity.
I like that.
And it can bring peace, even in the midst of struggles.
Okay, so we've talked about how He has done all things well.
Mm-hmm.
Applies to Jesus' actions in the past
Right.
and his promises for the future.
Yeah.
But what about right now?
That's the key question.
What does it all mean for us?
For our everyday lives.
For how we handle all the challenges and uncertainty.
Exactly.
The stuff we face every single day.
That's what we need to unpack.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's the real question, isn't it? Millie doesn't just stop at the big theological ideas.
Right.
He wants us to see how this trust in Jesus, how that plays out in our everyday lives.
So how do we do that?
How do we take this big idea?
That he has done all things well.
Yeah, how do we apply that to real life?
Yeah, to the messy stuff.
To the pain, to the things that don't make sense.
Exactly.
I think it starts with changing how we look at things.
Okay, so like a shift in perspective.
Yeah, instead of getting stuck on the why,
Why me?
why this,
All of that, yeah.
why now?
Exactly. What if we focused on the how instead?
The how.
Yeah, like how might God be using this situation?
Even the bad stuff.
Even the bad stuff for something good.
So like, how is this shaping me?
Exactly.
Refining me, maybe even drawing me closer to God.
That's it, yeah.
It's tough, though.
Oh, it is.
Especially when we're hurting. It's like we're being asked to trust the process.
Even when we can't see the end.
Yeah, to surrender control.
And that's hard for us.
Oh, so hard. We like to have answers.
We want to know why.
Yeah, we want to understand.
But what if understanding comes later?
What if it comes much later?
Like in the afterlife, you mean?
Exactly. That aha moment we were talking about.
Where it all makes sense.
Yeah, all the pieces fall into place.
They're walking by faith.
Not by sight.
Trusting God sees the whole picture.
Even when we only see a tiny part.
That's a lot of trust.
It's a radical kind of faith.
But Milui says it leads to peace.
And freedom.
Okay, I get it, but
But it's still scary.
letting go can be terrifying.
Especially when we're clinging to what we know.
Even if it's hurting us.
Yeah, but this trust isn't blind.
Okay, what do you mean?
It's based on something.
What's it based on?
It's based on knowing that he has done all things well.
Right.
That's not just about the past.
What else is it about?
It's about now, too, and about the future. It's about Jesus working in our lives.
Even when we feel lost.
Even when we feel alone,
We're part of a bigger story.
we're held in this divine plan.
That's working for our good.
Exactly.
So we hold on to that hope.
Yeah, that conviction.
That even in the dark,
There's a light
guiding us.
leading the way.
And that brings us to something else Melue talks about.
I'll see.
Finding purpose in suffering.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, it's not just about enduring.
No, it's about finding the potential.
The potential for transformation.
Exactly.
So instead of asking, why is this happening?
We ask, what can I learn from this?
How is this shaping me?
How is this growing my faith?
Wow, that's a powerful way to look at it.
It shifts us from being a victim.
To an active participant.
Yeah, we become part of this redemption story.
And that's where he has done all things well.
Really comes alive.
It's not about pretending everything's fine.
No, it's about finding meaning.
Even in the midst of the not okay.
Yeah, it's about participating in this work of redemption
In ourselves.
and in the world around us.
Okay, this makes sense.
It's a powerful idea.
But how do we actually do that?
How do we shift from feeling like a victim?
To becoming an active participant.
That's a question worth exploring.
And I think Milui has some answers.
He does. He draws this interesting parallel
Okay, I'm intrigued.
between the perfection of Jesus' work
Uh-huh.
and the idea of beauty coming from brokenness.
Okay, how does he make that connection?
Well, he uses this example of kintsugi.
Kintsugi, what's that?
It's this Japanese art form
Okay.
where they repair broken pottery,
With like glue.
not just glue.
Okay.
They use gold.
Gold, wow.
Yeah, so instead of hiding the tracks,
Right?
they make them stand out.
They highlight the brokenness.
Exactly. And the broken pieces become
Oh.
something even more beautiful.
Oh, wow. I like that.
It changes how we see brokenness.
Yeah, it's not something to be ashamed of.
It can be part of the beauty.
And that's Milui's point, right?
Yeah, he says that through our struggles.
Our imperfections, our brokenness.
All of that, God can create something new,
Something beautiful, something good.
something that reflects his perfect work.
So we're not trying to erase our scars.
No, we let God use them
To weave them into something bigger.
into this tapestry of healing and redemption.
That's a great image.
It's about understanding that he has done all things well.
Yeah, it's not just about the past.
It's happening right now.
It's an ongoing reality.
And we can be part of it.
Even in the midst of our brokenness.
That's where true hope lies.
Knowing that our brokenness can be used for good.
That even our darkest moments
Can be transformed.
into something beautiful and meaningful.
Okay, so we've talked about shifting our perspective, finding purpose in our suffering,
Right.
and embracing our brokenness.
The transformative power of it all.
But how do we put this into practice
Yeah. What does it look like day to day?
when we're facing real challenges?
That's the million-dollar question.
Malui has some advice for us, right?
He does. He starts with gratitude,
Gratitude, even when things are hard.
especially when things are hard.
Okay, how does that work?
It's about intentionally looking for things to be thankful for,
Even small things.
even the smallest things.
Like what?
It could be a supportive friend, a moment of beauty in nature,
Okay.
a random act of kindness,
So we shift our focus.
from what's wrong to what's right.
It's like retraining our brains.
Exactly. And that helps us build resilience.
So gratitude is like an antidote to despair,
That's a good way to put it.
even if it feels forced at first.
It can make a big difference.
What else does Malui suggest?
He talks about the importance of community.
Oh, yeah, not going through things alone.
Exactly. Whether it's a friend, a mentor, a therapist.
Or even a faith community,
Yeah, having someone to listen
just to hear us out.
can be so powerful.
We don't have to have all the answers ourselves.
That's right. Sometimes we need help.
We need support from others.
People who can offer a different perspective.
Or just a listening ear.
Exactly.
Okay, so gratitude and community.
Two powerful tools.
And anything else.
Malui also talks about spiritual practices,
Okay, like what?
things that nourish your soul.
That connect us to something bigger.
Yeah, like prayer or meditation.
Spending time in nature.
That's a good one.
Maybe even creating art.
Or doing something kind for someone else.
So we're actively seeking out,
Strength and renewal.
replenishing our reserves.
Especially when life gets tough,
I like that.
we make space for peace.
For connection, for meaning,
And that helps us face our challenges.
with more resilience.
And with that trust that everything's working out.
For good.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have these tools.
Gratitude, community, spiritual practices.
They help us navigate the how,
Of our struggles.
but sometimes we still won't understand the why.
And that's where faith comes in.
We go back to that core statement.
He has done all things well.
It's an act of trust,
Not just in the past.
but in the present and the future.
We acknowledge that we don't see
Some
everything,
things might feel broken and uncertain,
but we can still rest in that knowledge.
that there's a deeper wisdom at work,
That love is holding us.
and that there's a plan for our good.
Even when we can't see it.
Sometimes surrender is the bravest thing we can do,
Letting go of control.
trusting that He has done all things well.
That's the heart of Malui's message.
It's not about ignoring the pain,
It's about actively participating in redemption.
embracing brokenness,
Finding beauty in unexpected places.
and trusting that even in the darkness,
There's a light guiding us.
a love that sustains us.
And a hope that won't let us down.
That's beautiful. It's a good reminder.
Yeah, even when life throws curveballs.
We're not alone.
There's a bigger story being told.
A tapestry being woven.
And our brokenness can be part of something beautiful.
So anyone listening who wants to dive deeper,
Check out Daniel Millie's article.
it's on BibleStudium.de.
It's a thought-provoking piece
That offers a fresh perspective,
on what it means to say, He has done all things well.
even in a world that doesn't always feel perfect.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope this has given you some insights
And some inspiration.
as you navigate your own journey.
Keep seeking. Keep questioning.
And keep trusting.
That even in the midst of uncertainty.
There's a deeper wisdom at work.
Until next time.
Take care.